Hey everyone, let's talk about this Iraqi dinar revaluation, or is it a sucker's bet? And I'll tell you what, I bought some Iraq dinar last year. I bought 250,000 of them. It's a lottery ticket. I figured I was throwing the money away, but I also figured that the Iraqi people are sitting on a ton of oil, and they do need to have some sort of currency in the long run. And that throwing some money in on this, a small amount that didn't affect my daily life, was not that big of a deal. Since doing that, and I've followed these Dinar message boards, like Dinar Vets, this is Dinar Vets, Dinar Daddy, and People's Dinar at this point. I got to see a different picture of what these things are, and you know, even though you got 3 or 4 or 5 or whoever knows how many other of these boards that are out there, what I've started to see is the same things on each board at the same time. A lot of pumping. The website here in front of you, if you have never bought Iraq Dinar, you can go on this website, Dinar Trade. This guy Ali, you know, I bought from him because, you know, basically I saw him on Fox News or in CNN and the thing, so I got to put a face with it, and whether or not he's a truthful guy, I don't know. He's a currency trader, you know, flat out. That's what he does. He trades currencies. I got a $250,000 dinar. At the time, it was $270, you know, plus the COD, and I bought those. I put them away. They're very pretty. It's a pretty piece of currency. You know, everything looked at, you know, and I figured at worst case it would probably, my $300 might turn into a couple thousand. That'd be a pretty good return on investment. Never was I under the delusion that my 250,000 Iraq dinar would turn into $750,000 US. Not today. And people that compare this to Kuwait do not take into account that, first of all, the amount of Kuwaiti dinar that were in circulation in 1991 compared to the amount of Iraq dinar in circulation today is on two ends of the money spectrum, you know, billions compared to hundreds of trillions. Who knows how much Iraq dinar is actually out there and been printed. The second thing is that where the world is heading today in 2011 is nothing like it was headed in 1991. And so the amount of outright, in-your-face fraud by corporations, by governments, by banking in 2011 is just off the charts, unimaginable from that time back in 91. And if you're not taking this into consideration when you make investments into these currencies, the argument that these people here on all these websites will make is that the Iraq is sitting on a big puddle of oil, which they are. It's worth a lot of money, which it is. But they somehow think that the Iraq government is the one that's going to be doing this revaluation. It's going to be their call by the Iraqi people. They're going to say how much their money's worth, and they will start all benefiting from all that oil under the ground. But what people fail to realize is that the international bankers, through the U.S. military and through our puppet governments here in the United States, went and took over that country. They own the oil. They're going to throw some tidbits to the people that are sitting on the oil in order to keep them quiet. But in the end, does it really mean that our, you know, current investment into Iraq dinar is going to turn us into millionaires? Because supposedly Donald Trump has bought dinar, if you read on here, and I've never seen anything official that said Donald Trump, other than maybe some idiot on here said, hey, Donald Trump did this, and now it's a fact because some nameless, faceless name on a message board said it was true. And so my big problem here with the Iraq dinar and with these message boards is the pumping that goes on. I want to make a quick point here on Dinar Trade. You can come down here and buy dinar on reserve. And what that means, if you're not familiar with this, is that let's say one of these days one of these guys comes up here with a really good rumor, and it sounds as official and as sweet and as clean and as concrete as you could ever imagine. You could come over here and get 1,000,000 Iraq dinar, $1,220, except for being on reserve, you pay 10% down, and then you have 30 days to pay the balance. And so if it doesn't revalue, you just let your $130 go. Ollie over here at Dinar Trade just keeps that, puts that in his pocket, leaves his dinar on the shelf, never, you took a little gamble, you gave him $130. But here's the problem, and I almost fell into the dinar on reserve trap in early January. I was over here on People's Dinar, and they had a conference call, and they had this woman from Kuwait. She was an American woman. She was over there. She was at the bank with her friend who was Kuwaiti, but only Kuwaitis, because they're Kuwaiti, could take the Iraq dinar and trade it in for more Kuwaiti dinar than they had to start with, because those poor people of Kuwait were killed and murdered and all that, blah, 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 from the Iraqi dictator Saddam Hussein back in the early 90s. And that 3 or 4 days later, everybody on the planet was going to be able to revalue, and people were making plans to get their Ferraris and their yachts and their stuff. And then the next week, nothing. Never happened. And this woman in Kuwait vanished into thin air. What about her friends with all this money? Surely there would be an article. Surely there would be a YouTube video. Surely there would be some follow-up. Surely she would come on and say, oh my God, my friend just bought 5 new Mercedes. It is awesome. She let me have one. Oh my God, it's red. It's convertible. We're in the desert. We're happy. Nothing. Zero. And so every week since then, it's always been the next week. 2 days later is going to be Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Monday. Oh, first thing after Sunday. And right here at the top of People's Dinar on February 28th, 2011, it's all pointing to March 1st. Yes! We're going to be friggin' millionaires. I doubt it. Oh, next week, this guy's going to have up there. It's going to be March 14th. Oh, it's really... No, I mean, honestly, March 1st is tomorrow, and so surely this will turn into Friday before it turns into that. You know, and Major Payne and all these people who are probably all the same guy are going to come on there and say, oh, yes, I heard, my contact. But in the end, it's all going to fall apart, and it does every week. The fact is the Middle East is a freaking tinderbox right now. Tin pot dictators are falling or being replaced because they've been playing the game for so long. Now they get to go hide off in some other country and live in exile, and with all the money that they've been promised by the international bankers, why they make this grand exit from the stage that they've been sitting on for all this time. Muammar Gaddafi, Mubarak, all these other guys, is just too coincidental. These guys are getting moved out. They've been controlling this for the international bankers for years, and they are all getting ready to go retire while their countries go up in smoke. And so if you think with all the crap going on in the Middle East that the Iraq dinar is going to revalue to anything, you are on crack. And in my opinion, they are simply going to print this currency into oblivion. And when the United States dollar is no longer the reserve currency, and we will one day see the dollar turn to basically nothing. And this summer in the United States, our dollar is going to start buying us so much less than it buys us right now in February 28th, 2011, that you will not understand what the hell just happened to you, because your head has been so far up your butt that you've been reading this delusional stuff thinking that you're getting ready to get on the Ferrari gravy train. It ain't going to happen. Let's just put it this way. Here pretty soon you can have piles and piles and pallets of U.S. dollars, and it is not going to buy you anything because there's not going to be a lot to buy. You just look as far as Wisconsin today with the public unions protesting. Fact is, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, union, non-union, pro or con, the fact is there's no money to pay these people. The jobs are gone, the tax receipts have fallen, and the money that the government takes now goes to the international bankers to pay the debt. Anyway, so subscribe to this channel. I'll keep you up to date. We'll talk about this dinar stuff in another week or two. I'll do another dinar, and we'll look at all the other BS that these phonies have put up there. Don't throw your money away. If you want a lottery ticket, go get you a $250,000 dinar, whatever. I've got mine. I'm going to hang on to it. It'll be kind of cool to show people one day. Oh, check out this old money. So, anyway, before you get on this, I'm going to get rich tomorrow, and someone convinces you that this has to happen because the Iraqi people, they have to have a valid currency. Just remember, they don't own the oil that they sit on. They were conquered. It belongs to the bankers. The bankers own the United States of America, and now they own Iraq. And they're getting ready to own Iran, Pakistan, and if you think anything different, then maybe you should get out there and broaden your horizon away from the Iraq dinar and look into what is really happening with the currencies. Because let me tell you this: you cannot print and print and print and expect your currency to buy you anything down the road. All right. Well, subscribe and comment, and I'll be back with more. And we're going to talk about some of these awesome topics that are out there that have a lot of possibilities, but they're also keeping your eye off of the ball. All right. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.